My photographs are staged and deal with the concept of home and my personal and social life as a woman and as an artist. Operating from a complex position as a Druze woman in a conservative society, I feel restricted in my freedom of expression. Often in my work, I create a staged environment, and in the series of photographs presented here, I display my private home surrounded by my belongings. Despite the personal connection, the themes I explore within my home are abstract and broad, encompassing religion, family, gender, and the roles and positioning of women in society. In my realistic and humorous artistic approach, I try to convey hints and ideas about my personal life, my opinions, and my beliefs. My work is influenced by the past and present, by memories, longings, belonging, hopes, and fears. I was born and raised in Kibbutz Ashdod Yaakov Ehud. Nature and the land have always been an inseparable part of my life and have been my inspiration ever since I began sculpting in clay. After studying art in various institutions, without finding exactly what I was looking for, I settled near my birthplace, a decision that perhaps corresponds to Jung's hero's journey. There, I established my own studio, where I could create what I was searching for, the seam that connects practicality and art. The historical spirit inherent in the land, which I always longed for, and the constant inner contemplation, along with my working techniques, all these aspects fuel my artworks. The works displayed in the room are part of a series based on stories and existential descriptions of the human experience, both personal and universal, and shared archetypes. I began this series during a period in my life when I did not have a real home of my own, but I decided to create something that symbolized a home to me: the jar, a primary domestic container. The jar served as an inverted container for me to hold my stories, a sort of diary of experiences, memories, and interpretations of both painful and pleasant emotions. I was born in the village of Abu Snan in the Western Galilee. For years, I dreamt of studying art, but due to financial difficulties at home, I left my studies at a young age and went to work to support my family, where I also met my husband. After getting married, I moved to live in the village of Sha'ab, where my 4 children and granddaughter were born. I never knew I was good at art and hadn't tried painting until my daughter went to 1st grade, and I drew a picture for her school that received many compliments. The desire to continue creating never ceased. As my children grew older, and despite many difficulties and a strong desire on my part that never waned, I set out to fulfill my dream of studying art at the Galilee College in Saknin. Because art is my means of expression, I not only create, but also work as an art teacher for at-risk youth, in senior citizen clubs and youth clubs. Even my house, the House of Mashrabiyah, which I built in the new neighborhood of the village, is part of fulfilling my dream. My works tell my story, my connection to my family, my mother and father, my relationships with my heritage, and my feelings about my place as a woman in a traditional society.
Shum Home is a place where you feel loved, especially by family members. The home I loved most and felt safest in was my grandparents' house in Kfarkama. Perhaps because there I was not under scrutiny, or perhaps because I experienced loss in my childhood when my uncle was murdered by terrorists in my village of Rehania, a tragic event that caused me to lose my sense of security in my village. But at Grandma's house, I always felt at home. I can still smell the scents of her kitchen, the cheese she made and dried in the sun on the window overlooking the yard with the chickens, and the smell of toasted sesame, susamsho. From the moment we arrived from Rehania, I would rush to the turquoise cupboard behind the door, take out the sour cheese from the refrigerator with the large handle, and spread it on the bread she made in the yard. During my visit to Grandma, who lived in the heart of the village, right across from the mosque, I loved to wander the alleys. I was very curious about the construction, the thick beams, the small doors, the low windows, and the walls of the houses. As I walked among the houses, I wondered who lived in it. Today, I paint the alleys of Kfarkama, the houses, the food, and the memories from my family.
In Christianity, family is paramount. In my village, familial ties are inherent, somewhat akin to a tribal system where every individual has a familial affiliation belonging to the tribe. For me, this familial belonging is what home means. I live and create my art in my parents' house. For me, the word home is always tied to family, to the pivotal people in my life, and to the foundational relationships in my system. Home is supposed to protect me from various dangers and is a crucial factor in emotional growth and personal development. The sense of security and belonging can be seen in my artwork. I address the concept of home in my works. Home furniture arranged into small, artificially lit living rooms. The living room is concealed in a drawer, partially visible and partially not. The living rooms depicted in my work reflect my stance as an artist. I live within the home, yet I also observe from outside the world, hidden within the drawer. This duality exists in my relationships with the people and women around me, within the secure and safe home, but also in encounters with the outside world.